Hey everybody, Chris here. I just wanted to spend a minute with you and cover a concept of burnout that I feel a lot of organizations just get wrong these days. And to illustrate this, I have a glass of water. Now, this glass of water isn't terribly heavy. It's maybe 10 to 12 ounces or so, and it is in a glass jar. Um, but I'm going to use this to illustrate burnout because this glass jar in and of itself, this is not difficult to hold up. I have no trouble holding this. It maybe weighs a little more than a pound in total. But let me ask you this. What if I were to hold this for 5 minutes? What would start happening? Maybe my shoulder would start to cramp. I might start to shake a little bit. It would become more and more difficult for me to actually hold up this not heavy jar of water. Now, what if I were to hold this for an hour? You would imagine I may actually start to injure myself. Now, what if I were to hold this up for an entire 8 hours as a work shift? Well, that might just be flat out dangerous, and I probably wouldn't even be able to do it. So, I use this as an illustration to talk about burnout. That what we usually burn out on, and this is the misconception, is leaders sometimes think that people burn out on hard work or challenging work, and somebody experiencing stress or burnout for whatever reason can't cut it. I've heard a lot of people say about their direct reports, so and so couldn't cut it, especially if someone was in a new leadership position. They were stressing or burning out with the new workloads. So I am going to put this down for just a minute because it's getting heavy. The reality is that what burnout comes from is not from doing anything hard or difficult. As human beings, we're generally motivated to do hard work. We love challenging work. It's what gets us up in the morning. The challenge, though, is that when people show up to work and they have the same issues every day, and these issues are usually in a bucket that we would call threats, that they would threat somebody's patient safety. They would be threatening an issue threatening the safety of the nursing team, threatening patient care, threatening quality, some sort of a threat to the work environment in general. And we see this threat every single day, and it comes again and again and again, and we may be powerless to actually fix it, but we just have to show up every day and deal with it. That's one of the primary causes of long-term stress and therefore burnout, is not hard work or challenging work, but it's having the same unsolvable problem every single day that we just get sick of dealing with it. And so many nurses and nurse leaders leave their posts more because of that than anything else. And when we talk about burnout, it's not about how do we solve the problem of burnout, but we have to learn in healthcare how to do things like reinvent teamwork. How are we with sharing our work? How are we with maybe delegating our work or being really creative about how we complete our work? And I think that burnout is one of the things that has been really central to my work over the last decade or so, working with leaders from a lot of industries, but healthcare especially. Now, I would love to hear from all of you down below in the comments. I'd love to get a discussion thread going. How have all of you dealt with burnout, not just of other people, but I'd love to hear how your leaders have maybe dealt with your burnout in the past. Have you been maybe mistreated, or did a leader maybe not understand the nature of your burnout? And I do encourage you, those of you that are leaders, to use that analogy of holding a glass, because we really need to be able to identify that stress and burnout does not have a stigma to it. It shouldn't be a bad thing. It means that we're dealing with a problem that really needs to be solved. And these can be staffing issues. I've seen nurses have stress from not being able to find the supplies that they need as well. Let's face it, a lot of people on the floors, they tend to hoard supplies, and so things are almost never where you find them. You go to reach for chucks and they're all gone because the first part of the shift, everybody likes to grab chucks and shove them in their pocket, and it's a lot of little things can actually over time cause big stress and big burnout. So what are some of the things that you feel that you've been stressed out on or burnt out on, or maybe you've witnessed this on your team or with your colleagues? And again, I would love to hear maybe how your leaders have treated you when it came to stress and burnout. So please comment. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you.